So I wanted to make a video about what I genuinely consider to be a superpower when it comes to dating. And it's just something that very few men get to master or even attempt. And that is cold approach. So you may well have heard of it or done some yourself in the past. But for those who haven't, cold approach is essentially walking up to a new girl that you don't know out of nowhere and striking up a conversation. Obviously with the intent of getting her contact details, getting her out on a date. And it's quite nerve-wracking, right? But it's just one of the best ways to meet women that you wouldn't meet in some of the other circles, some of the other channels that you might be exploring, like nightclubs, bars, or parties. You see, a lot of the highest quality women are actually just out in the street, you know, or in coffee shops, bookstores, going to or from work and just living their life. And so if you never attempt to meet them in these environments, then you miss out on a huge amount of women that you could be very compatible with, that could be very, very attractive. Let me tell you a story that happened just a few weeks ago. So I'm currently in Marbella, but just before I left from the UK, I was in the gym one morning and I see this really attractive girl, and I walk up to her, strike up a conversation, ask for her number, ask her out on a date. That same evening we end up going on the date, and then we end up going back to her place and staying the night. All because I had the balls to go up and say hello and put myself out there. To take it further, she also came out here to see me. Again, if I hadn't actually had the courage to go up and introduce myself, none of this would have happened. Would have missed out on all of these nice experiences that followed. And so, why should you cold approach? Well, you can meet the highest quality women. Secondly, nobody's doing it. I mean, sure, there's some guys on the internet, you know, you'll see some YouTube channels, they do these approaches, these dating gurus, and so there are a few, and I've seen a couple of guys out and about do it, but honestly, bro, it's so rare these days still that you basically have no competition. And if you're scared of doing this, let me tell you, like, the reaction of the vast majority of women. So, like, sure, I've had some bad approaches, but the vast majority of women, if they either said they had a boyfriend or they weren't interested, they said, oh, like, but I really appreciate it. Or, you know, I maybe walk up with a compliment or just flat out say hello. They, by and large, love it, whether or not that it goes anywhere. So if anything, you make someone's day, you get some experience getting over your fear of talking to women. And so I encourage you to give it a try. So that's why. In terms of how you should cold approach, I think the biggest hurdle that I've seen in guys is that they just overthink, right? They just overanalyze the whole situation. They psych themselves out, so they'll see a girl and they'll think, oh, should I go, should I not go? And then they start just acting like super weird. And that's when it's basically analysis paralysis. They just psych themselves out, and they end up, if they do go up to her, they will just be super awkward, super tense. So the best way is, as soon as you see a girl, maybe count to 3 or just take a deep breath, like as soon as you can, just move your body in that direction without even thinking about it. Because your brain right now, you know, like, especially if you've been raised by a single mother, especially if you're like quite a beginner in dating, you're probably thinking like, this is some crazy shit, right? So you can't trust your brain right now. In terms of what to actually say, honestly, it doesn't matter. Personally, what I like to do is talk about either like some situation we're in. So for example, if you're at the gym, you say, oh, like, what are you training today? Or like, oh, it's feeling tired today, whatever. Or, oh, are you a new member here? Or you can straight up go by saying, hey, what's your name? Or don't believe we've met. Or I just thought you're cute, wanted to say hi, my name is, and then start a conversation. So that's the beginning. Then in terms of like thereafter, if she doesn't shut you down, she might just say, oh, like, sorry, and just be super antisocial and reject you. Then that's fine, you know, just say, oh, no worries, have a nice day. Like, brush it off, it's not a big deal. But let's say she engages in the conversation, it's like, oh, haha, thank you, or oh, I'm training legs today, what about you? And you get into a convo. No, chat for a couple of minutes, like literally chat as you would normally with someone, with a girl you're interested in. And then eventually say, right, don't want to keep you from your workout, or oh, I've got to go, you know, or I'll leave you to enjoy your coffee, but we should get drinks or food or coffee sometime. Let me get your number. And then she'll say, oh yeah, perfect. And then you get her number and then you get out of there. Or she says, oh no, sorry, I've got a boyfriend, or she might just reject you in some way, shape or form. And then you just say, no worries, take it as a compliment, have a nice day, just walk off. I think what's ingrained in our minds when it comes to cold approach, and I think it's, you know, it's to do with media, like framing it as such. Some women have had bad experiences with guys cold approaching, right? Like some guys have been utter fucking creeps, you know, like they wouldn't take no for an answer. They would maybe like stalk the girl. I've had some women tell me some like crazy stories, like a guy like following them out of a restaurant or following them out of the gym, like to their car, or like crazy shit. Okay, so like there have been some psychos that have done these things, and now women are like, oh, like I hate it when a guy does this, or you know, society will tell you, oh no, like it's weird when if a guy goes up to a stranger, to a woman. But honestly, bro, like having done this for about 7 years now, like I started in university, I've not had like a shocking experience. The worst I've had is, yeah, I've been rejected. But also that's because I've not been a psychopath. Like if a girl is clearly not into it, then I just walk off, wish her a good day, and that's it. So that's, you don't have to worry about the negative repercussions. Yeah, some guys might look at you, or like some people might look at you as you're speaking to the girl. Like this happens, like I'll speak to a girl in the gym and the gym's quite crowded. Maybe there's a guy like on the machine next to me, right? And he's fucking like looking at me weird, and I'm just like, let me approach, man, you know, I'm trying to yeah. But so what, like they're gonna stare. If anything, like deep down they wish they could do the things you're doing. Like talking to a woman, they're probably eyeing her up as well, but they were just like busy just like fucking flexing and hoping she'll just love them if they flex hard enough, right? So give this a go, because honestly, many of the best experiences I've had with women have been with those that I've cold approached. Some of the most attractive feminine women I've just met out in the street, in coffee shops, in the gym. If you want a more detailed guide on how to cold approach and why you should do it, and the things to look out for and potential pitfalls, and how to make everything run smoothly without being creepy, then I've got a full dating mastery course that I'm pre-releasing, linked in the description, which is going to help you transform your dating life. And then there's an entire module on cold approach included in there. So if you pre-order now, it'll be the cheapest you'll ever be. So let me know how this works out for you in the comments, and if you've got experiences with cold approach, then tell me what it's been like for you. And if not, then any other questions you've got, drop them in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.